Hello everyone, Ron Johnson here from L.T.L Tutoring Central, and if you're looking for tips and strategies to help with your learning, you are in the right place. If you've been on holiday recently, I hope you had a great holiday and a very happy new year. And this video is all about start writing. Now, it isn't really a command or a demand, but it is a very strong suggestion to get writing, to start writing things down. Now, what's the point? What's the purpose of writing? Of course, there are many reasons to write, and there are many types of things you can write, and there are many purposes for writing. But here are a few that I think are really strong reasons why you should begin writing. And one is engagement, and that is engagement with your world, with the people around you, with the current events that are happening, with books you're reading, with courses you're taking, and that can be if you're writing fiction or even if you're writing nonfiction. Obviously, if you're taking courses, you're going to be writing, or you can be writing about that information. So that might be nonfiction most likely. But even in fiction writing, obviously engaging with the world helps you to develop characters and plot and settings. And so writing every day, writing all the time is a good way of getting you there. It helps you to retain the information as well. So if you're learning something, for example, or if you want to learn something new, whether it's an official academic course or just something for yourself and personal growth, writing about it helps you to remember it, helps you to keep it in mind. It's also enjoyable. Writing is a very enjoyable thing to do. It can be a bit painful or trying when you're doing it at school and you're being graded on it. But remember, nobody's watching. You don't have to write for somebody else outside of if you really are doing a course or writing is your job. But otherwise, you can do writing for yourself. And you never really have to have anyone read it if you don't like. You can write an entire novel and just keep it for yourself. But you can write short stories, you can write novels, you can write a journal, a diary, a blog. Again, any of these things can be done for the public, but it can also be done just for your own enjoyment as well as learning new material. It also includes expansion. As we write, we expand upon our knowledge. So if I read something, I understand it generally to a point. I have a certain surface understanding, and I've done videos before about talking to yourself. I do that a lot. They haven't put me away yet, so I think it's okay. And that helps me too. That helps me to expand. But if I write it down, that's just one more level, one more layer of learning. And as I'm writing, I often find that I think of connections to other things I know, or it just come up with ideas as I'm writing, because that's what happens when you're sort of forcing yourself to write. And I think writing with pen and paper or pencil and paper is better than typing on a computer or a device. However, either way is good. It may just be that I'm old, but but I think there's something about writing it longhand that does help you generate new ideas and expand upon your original thoughts, or the thoughts that you've taken from a book or a magazine article or something else that you're using, a movie, anything really. Even music you listen to, you can write about. You can increase and improve your vocabulary while you're writing. Now, of course, that takes a little effort. It doesn't just happen all on its own. You do have to consciously decide on certain adjectives, adverbs, verbs, nouns, etc. And the thesaurus can become your friend. Just remember that not all synonyms are alike. I've done videos and blogs on that as well. So you do have to be a little bit careful that you don't just plug in any word that's listed in the thesaurus, because it doesn't necessarily fit the context. But with the thesaurus and the dictionary, you can expand your vocabulary, and you can look for examples and test to make sure you're using it in the correct context. Also, there are psychological benefits to writing. Writing is used in with a lot of counselors and psychologists and others to help people overcome difficulties and problems that they're having. But just in general, even if you're not having any major issues or problems per se, It can make you feel really good when you write out your ideas and your thoughts and make those connections. Again, it can be just for yourself. You don't necessarily have to have others reading it, and you can have some that you write for others and some that you write just for your own personal use. That's quite possible. I think that's the usual, to be honest. I mean, I write and put my efforts out there in terms of blogs, but also my fiction writing. But I also write things that are really just for me and that will probably never be seen by anyone else. Those are some, I think, major reasons why writing is such a great idea. And don't be afraid to get started. It's really easy. You take a piece of paper, a pencil, and a pen or pen, and you just start writing. You just start jotting down, do a bit of brainstorming maybe, and then just start writing out your thoughts. Some of them are going to be, maybe not great later on when you read them. You think, wow, that's really terrible. But that's fine. You just keep doing it and you get better and better as you go along. And even as you go along, there are going to be things that you write down that you still, a year later, you'll look at it and think, wow, that's really awful. Why did I write that? That doesn't make any sense. But that's fine. It's working things out too, and it just helps us and helps us work things out in our brain. So I hope you'll try writing. If you don't already, I hope you'll start writing, or you'll maybe do a little bit more writing, or you'll write on topics that you never thought you would when you're reading a novel or a book or short stories or listen to music or anything really, and you'll write your thoughts down. It is Ron Johnson from L.T.L Tutoring Central. I will put some links below if you're watching this on YouTube, and I will keep learning, keep having fun, and I will see you next time. Bye bye for now.